believer that this team's going to win the national championship.
Something stupid is coming out of his mouth.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my age. He needs his vote pulled immediately. And of course, yes, a season like this has to have a name.
Let's talk about something good about Justin Frye. What are you doing?
The season of dreams. Ohio State, my guys, are either the best or the second best program in the history of college football.
This guy is a bonehead. They love him.
I question your judgment as an adult. I really do.
I was a total hater. I know that for a fact, and I just don't get it.
Get us back our sleeves.
And say, bring me that. That's the one I want. And welcome into Juckonbucks on a Saturday. Appreciate you so much for joining me. Tomorrow, we're going to come on live for Selection Sunday. And we're going to talk about where the Buckeyes land, where everybody lands, all the different matchups that we're going to have for the playoffs. But today, I wanted to talk about the transfer portal. As the transfer portal opens December 9th, closes on December 28th. And it's kind of exciting, right? You get some new guys on the team. You get some new guys to go watch film on, project some new lineups. And, you know, as much as I dislike it, there is a little bit of excitement about it. And I guess I just want to start by saying I don't think that there is anything wrong anymore with these guys entering the transfer portal. If you are in a situation that's you might not feel like you're going to get much playing time, you haven't in the past, things just aren't quite working out like you thought they would at your stop. This isn't like college football used to be. It's just not. These dudes are getting paid in many cases. They're getting offers, and it just seems to me like anymore, a lot of them treat it like it's a job, and they're looking for the best opportunity. No different than my 25-year-old son would or my 20-year-old son would. And I don't think any of it has anything to do with somebody is scared to compete. And a lot of people threw that on Kyle McCord last year, and I did not agree at all. I thought that that was actually a smart move by Kyle McCord, and it's proven to be that. If he were to stay at Ohio State last year and not win the job and ride the pine all year, his NFL dream would have died. Instead, he went to Syracuse, played all year. That dream is alive and well. So these are the things these guys are weighing. And I get it 100%. I don't think there's any weakness about it. They're just looking for the best opportunity that they can, just like Ohio State is looking for the best starting lineup they can put on the field. And that's just all it is. So when I say that I think someone might be a candidate to transfer, I mean no disrespect to them, and I hope nobody takes it as that. So let's start with quarterback. We know that Will Howard graduates. He's off to the NFL for hopefully a very long career in the league. A lot of people probably doubt that. We'll see what happens. Julian Sayin going to be the presumed starter. He passed Lincoln Kienholz on the depth chart. And Lincoln Kienholz is a guy that I believe is probably going to enter the transfer portal. I also think that Devin Brown is going to enter the transfer portal. I don't think he's sticking around for a third quarterback battle at Ohio State. I don't think that that he would win it either. I think he knows that probably. So I believe that those two are probably gone. And that leaves Julian Sayin, Aaron Nolan, and incoming freshman Tavian St. Clair. While Aaron Nolan is very young, I hope he stays and battles it out. I don't know what direction he's leaning, but certainly hope that he sticks it out. If he does stick it out another year, his sophomore year, just more time to learn. And he probably wouldn't be starting somewhere else anyway, unless he were to drop down a level. So I don't see any reason why he would really want to fly out of here, but he might. Whether he does or doesn't, I think it behooves the Buckeyes to bring in an older veteran quarterback to pair with these 2 second-year guys and 1 first-year guy. I think that's probably a good idea, and I think they'll probably look for it. Let's move to running back, where you've got Quinshon Judkins, who's most likely heading to the NFL, Travion Henderson, who is for sure heading to the NFL. In your running back room, without those two, looks like T.C. Caffey, your walk-on, old vet in the room, and then you've got James Peoples, your second-year stud. He'll be your number 1 guy. You got 2 freshmen that are going to be starting caliber workhorse guys in Bo Jackson and Isaiah West. Then you've got Sam Williams-Dixon, your second-year guy who's not starting caliber, but a good utility guy. And you got freshman Turbo Rogers, who adds a little bit something extra, but definitely not that workhorse type of guy. So 3 workhorse type of guys, but 2 of them freshmen. And do they want to bring in a transfer portal running back to fit in with those guys? Someone who maybe understands pass pro a little better, someone that they can maybe rely on and feel a little better about. I think they probably do. What I really hope doesn't happen is that all they can find or all they end up bringing in is kind of an average running back who ends up splitting carries with James Peoples. And instead of seeing those stud freshmen, we're watching some average back because he's good at pass pro. That would really suck. I don't want to see that at all, but it might be the way they go. We'll see. Be interesting to see that one. At tight end, you lose G. Scott, and he's the only one that's heading out. You've got Bennett Christian, you've got Will Kazmarek, and you've got Jelani Thurman all coming back. And then you add freshman Nate Roberts and Brody Lennon. I think Nate Roberts will be kind of pushing for some playing time early on, and there's going to be a showdown in this room. Obviously, we know with Jelani Thurman, and we've heard Ryan Day talk about it many a times, how difficult it is for a tight end in their system to learn everything they need to learn to push for playing time. And Nate Roberts, he'll physically be able to do it. Can he get all the rest of that down? If he does and he gets some playing time, it'll be a pretty damning indictment of Jelani Thurman. But I certainly hope to see a lot of Jelani Thurman in 2025. I would like to see a lot less of Will Kazmarek. Bennett Christian, he's been coming around. I think that he's maybe overtaken Will Kazmarek in my eyes as maybe that next guy up after G. Scott leaves. But Will Kazmarek, it's not nothing against him. Nice dude. I think that I definitely thought more of him when he was coming over from Ohio University. Not working out the way I thought it might. At wide receiver, already in the transfer portal, you have lost Kojo Antwi and Jaden Ballard. They'll be on their way to a new destination. Emeka Ibuka on his way to the NFL. So you lose those 3. You've got JJ, Carnell, Brandon Innes, Bryson Rogers, and Mylan Graham. Then you bring in the class of 2025, Quincy Porter, Phillip Bell, Des Jones, and BP Miller. So there is no need to go out and get a transfer wide receiver at all. On the offensive line, Josh Simmons and Seth McLaughlin are gone. Josh Fryer is gone. Guys with starting experience next year will be Carson Hinsman, Tegra Shabola, Austin Sareveld. Guys younger than them who might have a shot potentially if with some great camps and some more pounds and such. Ian Moore at tackle, Luke Montgomery at guard, Josh Padilla at center. Those young guys may have a shot. I think it's probably a long shot for the 3 of them, and you definitely want to get transfer portal guys ahead of them. But they're coming along. They've been coming along, and we're hearing really good things about Ian Moore. It would be awesome if we could see them take a step up, but we haven't yet, and we'll see what happens with those guys. But you definitely want to get a transfer upgrade at center to upgrade for Josh Padilla, who's never started, and he's the next man up if you move Carson Hinsman off of center, and I don't think that they want him at center. And then you got a battle at guard with Carson Hinsman, Luke Montgomery, Austin Sareveld, Tegra Shabola, and hopefully another transfer guard who comes in, battling for the 2 starting guard spots. And when we talk about tackle, you're looking at Ian Moore as your top dog on the roster. I think he's going to be good. I hope so. He's shown a lot of promise. He was a highly rated recruit as well. Got a great attitude. I know that. I've heard him talk. I really like his stuff. But you're going to want to go to the transfer portal for both starting tackle spots. And that is a huge amount of money when we're talking about starting tackles at Ohio State, a place that is competing for national championships. We're talking about big time bucks here. Guys that have entered the transfer portal so far or announced their intention to enter the transfer portal: Josh Thompson, That is a stud guard from Northwestern, an all Big Ten kid. Gave up no sacks. He's got people pursuing him already or getting in contact with him. Michigan, Michigan State, LSU. And every one of these guys that enters the transfer portal that is going to be a guy who is the caliber that can start at a place like Ohio State is going to be pursued by schools like that on Ohio State's level, ready to spend big bucks. And it's going to be incumbent upon Justin Fry to both win the recruiting battle, and it's going to be incumbent upon Ohio State to give him the funds to win that battle this way as well. There's no other way around it. They're going to have to spend. And because they didn't spend in recruiting the last several cycles, they should have the money there, theoretically, to go out and do this. But if they don't, then we know that there's probably a situation here with money, right? That would be the conclusion, because they haven't been spending money, a whole lot of money, definitely not as much as their peers in recruiting. So we better be able to see this pay off in the transfer portal. They definitely need some big time help, the most help at offensive line. Over on the defensive side of the ball, you are losing all of your starting defensive linemen. And when you look at the defensive line, you've got Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry starting at end next year, presumably. Behind them, Josh Mickens, Dominic Kirks. You need a quality third guy to match with those two, because neither of those Josh Mickens or Dominic Kirks are a quality third guy yet. So you want a quality third guy. You certainly want to find that in the transfer portal. You've got your incoming freshmen, Ziggy and Epi, and you're most likely going to move CJ Hicks down to edge, right? Because he's certainly never going to be a linebacker for you. He may be a guy that hits the portal himself. Who knows? But he kind of fits the profile maybe of somebody who would. But if he doesn't, that's 7 guys. You want 8. So you definitely want to be looking for an edge rusher. I think they will be. And that, again, a big money position. Big money. On the inside of the defensive line, you've got Caden McDonald and Edric Houston, and that is a position that I feel great about with those two. We're talking about big-time players. Then you've got your 3 freshmen coming in, Jarquez Carter, Trajan Odom, and Maxwell Roy. You've also got Jason Moore, Hero Canoe, and Taiwan Malone. That's 8 guys right there. 8 guys. But Jason Moore, Hero Canoe, Taiwan Malone, are any of these guys potential transfer portal exits? I think we'll probably see one of those 3 leave. I just got a feeling one of those 3 will leave. They've seen the 2 younger guys in Caden McDonald and Edric Houston come in and kind of pop up above them. I just suspect that there's a lot of people that are going to want them. Those are quality football players. I think we'll probably see one of them leave. At linebacker, you've got Sonny Styles starting at will. I don't believe he's going to the NFL. I don't have anything to base that on other than I think that if he stays one more year, he's going to be a much higher pick than if he were to leave this year. You've got Arvell Reese, who has definitely become your presumed starter at Mike. I think he certainly earned it, and I think he'll continue to earn it. He's a natural and a budding superstar. You've lost Gabe Powers. In the room, you've still got Peyton Pierce and Garrett Stover, and you're bringing in Riley Pettijohn, TJ Alford, and Eli Lee. That's 7 dudes. CJ Hicks would make 8, but again, I think he's transferring maybe or moving down for sure. I don't think there's any way he's in that linebacker room next year. Special teams. You brought in the Australian punter who can punt it out of the stadium. It sounded great. He was named the starter for like 48 hours, and that went away quickly. And then you had McGuire, who can't punt it more than 40 yards. So that didn't go well. And obviously with Jaden Fielding, your field goal kicking was not well. And we can include just kickoffs as well, where we had 3 kickoffs go out of bounds one game. Not so hot. So you need a field goal kicker. And of course, everybody wants Jesus Gomez from Eastern Michigan. This kid made a 57-yarder, 80% on the year, which isn't great, 20 for 25, but inside 40, missed just one. From outside 40, he was 9 for 13. So that's really good right there. At corner, you lose Denzel Burke. Jermaine Matthews steps up. IGB, we expect to be back. Calvin Simpson-Hunt, Buckeyes trying to retain him. Aaron Scott getting better and better. You've got Bryce West, a promising young prospect. Devin Sanchez enters into the picture. A youth movement. And if you don't lose any pieces, you're set. At safety, who are you going to put next to Caleb Downs? You might bring somebody in, but you got Jalen McClain, who surprised everybody this year as a freshman, one of those New Jersey dogs. Fahim Delane comes in as a freshman. Might be somebody that surprises like McClain did this year. Malik Hartford has played plenty and played pretty well. Keenan Nelson was the transfer you brought in from South Carolina last year. He was out of St. Joe's Prep as well. We got a big time St. Joe's Prep pipeline going on recently, and he wasn't able to see the field. I don't know if he'll be back for next year. Jaden Bonsu, he was looking really good in the spring. You might bring somebody in at safety. So to recap, your biggest need, obviously, offensive line. 2 tackles, 1 guard, 1 center. Defensive line, maybe 1 end, maybe 1 tackle. Running back, 1 experienced fella. Quarterback, 1 experienced fella. 1 kicker, 1 punter, maybe 1 safety. You're good at linebacker, you're good at tight end, you're good at wide receiver. So when we add that up, that's really only 10 guys. Last year, you brought in 7, and that ranked like 94th as far as quantity out of 134. Now, all these numbers change. If you get one out here and there, then you're going to want to bring one in to replace. But so far, as you look at it right off the rip, you're looking at 10, and then you're going to move from however many you lose out to add on to that. And that's what we're looking at. But it's going to be exciting. You get new players who are coming in, and they're going to play next year. It's not like bringing in recruits out of high school who you know are going to need years to be developed. And we get to go and look at their college film to check them out. So that'll be fun. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. It felt at first to me like the transfer portal was just like seedy. Like it just didn't feel right. As a couple of years have gone on now, I'm starting to enjoy it. It's added another dimension that we can talk about, that we can cover, that we can have fun with. And that's what we're looking at. So please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Juckonbucks out. And I don't think he's going to throw the ball as much as he thinks he's going to throw the ball now that Chip Kelly's on board. And I'm happy about that. More quarterback. The truth is Ryan Day has made a change philosophically, but it's none of those. You all know who wins. LSU is the drunkest fan base in the country.
Start. That means we've got